Welcome back to the Talking Film Podcast. I'm your host, Dawud Malik, and today we're going to be talking about Justice League. So, you know Justice League, you know it's bad, you've seen everyone shit on it, and honestly, I don't want to do that today, and Ben doesn't want to do that today. Both of us want to talk about what we liked about this film, and what we didn't like about this film, and then we both want to put it together and try and fix this film. So, welcome to Fixing Justice League. Alright, I'm here with Ben, and we are going to discuss what we didn't like about Justice League. So Ben, tell me what you didn't like about it.
Alright,
It's too awkward. Go on then, stop looking at me and start talking.
Right. It'd have probably most likely been the Flash actor, I'd say, Ezra Miller, because it felt really like wooden, and then it was like it didn't look natural, and then the way the actually CGI'd the Flash with blue lightning didn't make sense, I think. It wasn't entirely like accurate. And then the way he was just like acting, he constantly looks nervous or shocked or paranoid, when the Flash is like meant to be this cool hero who's meant to be relatable and not like a kid who sits in his basement with this massive computer that's probably worth way too much money that he would earn as like a teenager? Even maybe as like an adult, like.
I guess, but
it seemed excessive.
Sometimes you can stray away from the comics. It's not always comic accurate at times,
It just seemed like they really tried to force this new Barry Allen, and I think it crashed and burned. Yeah. To be honest,
I don't agree there. Sorry, but I actually really liked Ezra Miller because he had that sort of relatability. When it came to serious situations, he was really awkward at times, and that's literally me. I can be really awkward in certain situations and stuff. But I think what I didn't like was the writing for Wonder Woman, because this was written, I think probably it started by Zack Snyder, but he had to leave for that incident, and then it was Joss Whedon, and we've seen Age of Ultron, and we've seen Black Widow, who was not convincing at all in that movie. Joss Whedon does not write women very well, and we already know that. So I can see why Wonder Woman's really just sexualized in this movie. I don't know, and then the acting from the actor herself, she's not that good. Her lines are really bland and they don't stick out.
See, it's a bit of a mix for Wonder Woman. I think the actor herself is good, but I think the actual way she was casted was bad. Like, the writing itself just crashed and burned with everything else. But the actor herself, I think she did as best a job she could with the script she was given. But yeah, it's hard to find the positives when the script kind of just kills everything.
Yeah, no, I think. I agree there. But it's like, I have hopes for Wonder Woman 84. She definitely looks like her acting has improved. And in the first Wonder Woman, it was good itself. I don't know what happened here. I feel like instead of getting her actual good acting, they just took her outtakes instead, where she just failed everything.
Oh yeah.
And just put it all together, because she genuinely seemed like she didn't want to be there. That's one of my issues. And I think obviously everyone says this, the post CGI. The CGI is horrendous, but I mean, sometimes I don't realise it, but then sometimes I realise the obvious green screen and blue screen that they failed to get rid of. And other than that, it's fine. And the other actors, I'd say Ben Affleck. I had hopes for Ben Affleck. I don't think he's super bad in that way. I think his writing's bad, but him himself, talented actor. Same with Henry Cavill as well. I actually just dislike the Wonder Woman casting, and that's about it.
See, you can clearly tell the script was bad because you have Henry Cavill as Superman doing his best job he can with the script, but then you have Henry Cavill in The Witcher, and it's like, holy
I haven't seen The Witcher yet.
You need to watch it. It's like the contrast between the two is like, holy shit. It's all the script, and the way he was casted really made him look like really.
I saw him in Mission Impossible, and that was really good, especially that bathroom fight scene, which was astonishing. Of course, then it's just a script, really, and I think we all know about how bad the script is. And the fight scenes were very rushed and uninteresting. Like that one with they were fighting Steppenwolf, who really seemed like a B-Tech Thanos, but Thanos didn't exist in 2017, so.
Or in the DC.
Yeah,
nice universe.
It's Steppenwolf his writing is not well. I don't know. I don't understand it. His reasoning is really poor, and then in the end, he just doesn't seem powerful. They're trying to reinforce how powerful he is, but it looks like one guy could just walk up there and hit him with a stick and he's done.
Yeah, another thing as well. You have like the Flash with his blue lightning, which if you look at the way that means, it's the fastest you can have in the Speed Force if you want to get technical. So when Barry Allen has orange lightning normally, he's faster than Superman generally, but if he has now blue lightning, he should be way, way faster than Superman. So when he's doing the fight scene, one, he just kind of like slaps people, and it's like, okay, great fighting scene, just slapping everyone. But then you have Superman actually keeping up with him, if not beating him, and it's like, well, Barry Allen, if he's using blue lightning like that, this Flash should be the fastest Flash there is yet, but yet he's actually seems to be one of the slowest, which doesn't make sense, and it's just bad writing.
It's obviously bad writing. Joss Whedon is honestly a terrible director.
He should take over.
I would definitely take over.
100%.
I think the film is trying to be too hard about what the Avengers are instead of going their own way. Like we see Joker, we see Birds of Prey, we see all that, and I have high hopes for all of those that they can bring this unique original story instead of trying to be the Avengers or Age of Ultron and trying to build that sort of universe. And the consequences are serious. It's supposed to be possibly the end of the world here, and it just feels like you're fighting a guy in space with rocks. He's just got three cubes. What's he going to do with it? Because they don't have that actual feeling of consequences like Infinity War or Endgame. The consequences is not there. Yeah.
Not to defend the writing or anything though, but to be fair, the film has a lot to live up to, especially with Endgame and things coming out.
Yeah.
But like you said, the director could have done a lot better job. The Flash, just like what happened there. It was a mess, and it seemed really rushed as well, I think, because any way you look at it, everything's too fast.
Yeah.
Or if it's not going fast, it's the actors talking to each other in the film, and it looks, I think, unnatural, because you have, like when Batman finds Flash.
Yeah.
And Flash can dodge the Batarang, and it's like, oh right, he is a Flash kind of realization moment. But it just felt a bit underwhelmed. I can see where they tried to make it like funny, or like see this awkward teenager and tried to show you this new version. I
see that with the Superman reveal at the end as well, because I was like, how, for example, Thor coming into Wakanda was probably one of the best scenes in that movie. I feel like even though this was released before Infinity War, you can tell that it was trying to do one of those moments. But with the horrendous writing, you just see Superman and you're like, oh right, he's there. What's he going to do?
Yeah, I think they tried to just... It's almost as if they went for the same idea, but one nailed it and one just crashed and burned.
It shows.
They should have had their own original idea, I think, maybe. Because it doesn't seem like it fits what the characters would have done. Like, if the Flash was real, or if Superman was real, I don't think they would have acted that way.
Yeah.
Or done what they did, or been how they were casted.
I guess, but I think Aquaman was one thing as well, because he really resembles Endgame Thor, and you can just tell. But at the same time, he's such a in this movie, and I don't know why. I don't like it when actors are dickheads, or like the cast itself, or the writing.
See, I think it's kind of funny, because like there's always got to be someone in a movie, I think, where someone's just a complete prick. Someone's got to undermine someone. Someone's got to look at someone and be like, yeah, well, cut off,
I think they can do it well. If you're starting off as a complete prick and you turn yourself around, that's character development.
Yeah.
But, Aquaman's just Aquaman. He never develops. He's still the same, like, drunken idiot towards the end as well.
Yeah. But there's no character development in, like, any of the characters, really.
I can see that. It just really... Well, I mean, I'm going to say it again, but we all know it's really poorly done. We know it's a shit movie, and we're probably going to see, like... Because what I did like about the movie was the use of colours. The Gotham City in the beginning was very colourful, and I actually, like, it kind of gave me the Batman Arkham vibes. And the actual colours, they're pretty good, despite the bad CGI. The colours actually stick out.
Yeah.
And, Barry Allen's extreme resemblance to that of the MCU Spider-Man, which obviously wasn't released back then, I'm not sure, I don't remember. But it kind of reminds me a lot of the MCU Spider-Man on relatability.
Yeah.
Someone's texting me. On relatability, and that's basically it. That's what I like. There's not much else I like.
I think if they had to recast Ezra Miller, I don't think it'd... Well, the thing is, he had the Flash in that suit, and the suit didn't look like it fit him. It looked weird. It just looked like it didn't look right. I can see how they tried to make it cool and tried to make it like metal, more armored, more tanky Flash kind of thing. But the actor just looked scared inside that suit. He looked like the Iron Man meme where Iron Man gets out the suit and Peter Parker craps himself. It was like the whole acting of Ezra Miller in that looked like that scene, but for over an hour. And then you have like, it just doesn't work. Like you get Grant Gustin from the Flash CW, and it's fucking perfect. It's perfect casting. It's perfect writing. I think
I've not seen the CW. No,
it's so good. Like he really looks like the Flash and acts like the Flash would, as a hero, as someone who evolved and character develops. Of course, that's TV shows. There's more room for character development, but it's still the fact that it's not character developed. It's not. He's awkward. He bitch slaps everyone instead of actually fighting. They've not made him a hero. They made him more of a coward. But thing is, Batman goes to find him instead of this hero who's apparently already saved people before. But what is that, by slapping them? Because it doesn't work, and he's not this hero that he lives up to be. Like, it just doesn't work.
I like the conversation with his dad, because at the end it was kind of touching. I don't know, with the bad writing as well, it's still the father and the son. I could feel a connection there, and that's what I did like.
Definitely.
But you could see how poorly cut up the movie was. Certain scenes start out at this location, and then in a split second it's somewhere else. And it doesn't establish the setting, it's just straight somewhere else. And here's this new character, we're not going to establish it, we'll just get right into it. It's like they've got TV show episodes, gone to different episodes and just cut out each of it and put it all together. So, like, to fix that, like, pace the show properly. Stop speeding it and then stop slowing it down. Just pace it. And the tone is serious. They managed to split the humour and the seriousness. That's something that I think the Avengers and MCU should do more. Split the tone a bit instead of putting it all together. Like, you can see serious tones.
Yeah. See, I have to disagree there, because I think if you always have, like I said with the one character, Aquaman, just being the douchebag in the situation, there's always got to be someone to contrast the atmosphere, I think. So like you in Endgame, you have Thor, Fat Thor, just being a meme in the most serious situation.
Yeah.
And it kind of brings the tension down a bit, but then you realise how serious it is when the character who jokes about everything doesn't joke.
Yeah.
So if they did that right and made the serious situation serious, and the humoured character is serious, then you know that shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
And that tensions are high.
No, yeah, I actually get that one. That's a good point. I mean, you don't want a character that's too serious, otherwise you don't want a character that's too serious, or you'll end up getting Thor the Dark World. But you don't want a character that's too comical, otherwise you're going to get Thor Ragnarok, which I guess was praised at its release. I mean, I liked it, but then
it was good.
It came a few rewatches and I was like, my god, this film is so stupid at some point. And Taika Waititi is how you say his name. I think he's a good director. Like, I haven't seen Jojo Rabbit yet, and I actually thought it was bad, but looking at it, it's actually pretty good. So if he can make a Jojo Rabbit type Thor instead of the Thor Ragnarok, you'd be able to get a much better character. But I mean, I guess that's not even what we're talking about.
Yeah, but like you said, with a few rewatches, you realised it. See, in my thoughts, I think that's good, because it takes rewatches to notice the bad things.
Yeah.
But with Justice League, on the first watch, you'll notice everything.
You notice everything.
Yeah, it's so obvious. Like the green screening, the CGI in general, the actors, the casting, the writing, it's all just out there. Like, oh yeah, well, we did this, but it's just bad. Like, I'm sorry, but this is the film, and shame.
You just don't like it at all, because I watched it, and not gonna lie, that actually kept me entertained.
It was entertaining.
It was fun.
But
It's those so bad it's fun movies. It's the Spider-Man 3 of DC.
Oh god. Yeah.
Thank God it's not the Amazing Spider-Man 2 of DC, because that, even though that was horrendous, the pacing and the story and everything was boring. But Spider-Man 3 was fun to watch, but extremely in the writing.
Yeah.
So that's basically what Justice League is to me.
See, what redeems a lot of bad films is the fact that you can get a film that's terrible, but the community will find like this. They'll find like good memes out of it.
Yeah.
But you get Justice League and it's bad, and there's no memes in it, so it's just bad.
I think there was
You
one
can't
meme.
even laugh at the bad.
There was one meme with that Superman face he makes where they try and shoot him or something, and
Oh, yeah.
and then the way Wonder Woman or what's her name again, Gal something. I can't actually say her name properly. How would you? Is it Gal Gadot or Gal Gadot? Because like
You are a good media student.
I can't fucking say it.
You mean Superman's real name?
No,
What?
the Wonder Woman actress.
Oh, you tell me. I have no idea.
See,
It's unpronounceable.
I'd just say Gigi. Okay, so
Gigi boys.
her acting in that scene, her voice was like extremely broken, and I cringe
Yeah.
every time I see that.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's so bad. I mean, I guess the film could be redeemable if Zack Snyder got to it. I mean, everybody's getting the Snyder cut. I just think leave the film where it's at. And
See, what you just said then kind of stuck out when you were like, oh, well, you can redeem it. I think DC have done that a lot. Like Suicide Squad with Harley Quinn. They're making a new Harley Quinn movie, aren't
the
they?
Birds of Prey, yeah.
Probably trying to redeem Harley Quinn. They've made the Justice League to try and bring together them, the
Have you
characters
kind of noticed that
from Batman vs.
Joker and the Birds of no, what's her name, Harley Quinn, who are both part of the Suicide Squad, now have gotten their own 2 solo movies.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to try and like connect a universe with that, and that
Maybe.
will definitely redeem it from Justice League, because
Yeah.
that was horrendous.
But if this doesn't work out with what they're doing now, I think instead of redeeming it, they should wipe the slate clean and just start from the ground up like MCU did from the beginning,
Yeah.
building all the way up to Endgame.
Yeah.
Just do something similar to that. You know, starting with solo movies, making characters introduced to each other without making it obvious.
Yeah, no, that...
So, like, say you make a Superman movie and then make, I don't know, a Flash movie.
Yeah.
Instead of making a movie where it's like, oh, Flash and Superman in the title, don't make it obvious and just make them subtly just find each other and be like, oh my god, well now they're together, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, and this whole Snyder Cut movement, and I'm gonna say this without actually getting attacked by the whole Snyder Cut regime or whatever regime. That's not
Regime.
Yeah, I am really bad with words. So instead of getting attacked by the whole Snyder Cult, I want to say that, you know, stop asking for the cut, because let's say Age of Ultron was bad, but they didn't cut that and fix it. They just said, you know, fuck it, we're going to move on and we'll make the other movies 10 times better. And even though I didn't like Endgame, I didn't like the other films, they were still perfect. They built the story, they connected it.
They were good.
So instead of begging Snyder to make a cut, move on. Just let the story build up again, and you'll probably get a 10 times better Justice League without the help of Snyder. You don't need him.
Yeah.
And, you know, everyone, he's really overrated right now.
Oh yeah.
Because he's been pictured as this perfect director. And
As a
same with
god.
Sam Raimi and all the other ones. You know, they've only made a few good movies. I can safely say Sam Raimi does have some bad movies. He's like a C-tier director at best. And same with Zack Snyder. You know, there are a lot of good directors out there. 10 times better than these ones. But they're getting overhyped for the superhero movies.
Yeah.
So, you know, stop begging for this one movie to come back out and move on with the whole story. Because you'll get a 10 times better one throughout.
Yeah.
So, to fix Justice League, which we've just been rambling on and on, but I guess this kind of keeps the podcast longer because we're 18 minutes.
This is
18
content.
minutes.
This is content. I like
Actually,
it.
everybody wanted a longer one. I've got a lot of talk saying that we just
So they
rushed
do
the
want
last one.
rambling content. I like it.
So, you want to replace the Flash actor in the Superman one, right?
That's some reading the thoughts shit. It's almost as if we don't have a page saying
I mean,
how
look,
to fix Justice
like,
League.
I'm really
with
bad.
3 words and not a script anymore.
I'm really bad. I'm really bad when it comes to speaking from just myself. Like, I have scripted reviews, and you can see in the contrast, like that Simpsons essay, which took 5 days to write, came 10 times better than the El Camino one, which I took from the top of my head, which still has only 100 views because it was that poorly received.
You have your little bullet pin, and then I have like 3 lines.
Yeah, because you didn't give me enough information, and you know you rarely pick up
I
on
don't
social
give myself
media.
enough information.
I just thought
kind
I
of, like,
needed your opinion on this to
I
write.
prefer
You know?
just pure improvisation. Like, we should probably just start talking about the podcast now.
Yeah.
Because we're now talking about a script.
Okay, so
Right, as I was saying, right. I've kind of already touched on this, but right. God, I must really think that I hate Ezra Miller now. No, I like Ezra Miller as a whole,
like his cameo.
but not how he's cast. Not how he's cast. I think he has potential, but not within Justice League.
You're tapping, it makes the mic louder. I think I put replace Wonder Woman, but now that I realise it, she's got potential and she's a good actress. Sorry. And if you fix her writing, which you can do with all the fucking actors, I don't know why I wrote that.
So many curse words.
Oh look, right, we're 18 plus. We'll fix the movie pacing, we'll fix
17.
the tonal issues, and you'll have a fairly decent Justice League. You'll have the Age of Ultron of Justice League, which again I'm gonna say is shit, but it's still good to watch. It's fun.
It's a film.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, they shouldn't just be making the Justice League as is, because they made all the Wonder Woman and stuff, and then media. Like they made the Flash and Superman and Wonder Woman and Aquaman just kind of come into this movie after like what, a solo movie?
Yeah.
But it's rushed. They need to, if they're gonna do Justice League and they're gonna do it right, I think they need to be really developed, because you need the audience, us, to be emotionally attached to at least a character, because when you're attached to a character, you engage with that character a lot more. If you can find yourself in a character and invest in that character, the movie's 100 times better. It's done with MCU. Like, you'll get people relating to Thor, you'll get people relating to Fat Thor, you'll get people relating to bloody Iron Man.
Spider-Man the most, especially the new one.
Spider-Man especially, because he's this teenager with these newfound abilities, but he's trying to just live his normal life as well.
Yeah.
You can see how they tried to do that with Ezra Miller and The Flash.
But then just Joss Whedon just comes in.
Because he's like, oh, well, he's this relatable teenager that everyone can relate to, but he also has this 75 grand computer in his basement. Like, what do you mean?
Have you noticed the film's a bit sexual? There's a scene where he tries to save Wonder Woman, Ezra Miller's Flash, and he's on top of her for like a split second, and he jumps back up. And I say this without sounding like a perv, but it's so noticeable in this movie. The Wonder Woman skirt is jumped up, and you can tell any scene, especially that bank one where she lifts the guy up. Yeah, you see it because...
See, I think with that scene where he jumps on top, I think that's not meant to be sexual, but it is. I think it's meant to show like his awkwardness, like, oh, he's accidentally realised that it's like, touching this woman, and he's got off straight away in like a panicky moment, I think they've tried to give him this like really awkward feeling, but it's over the top.
It is over the top.
It's not. It doesn't fit the character who would be Flash, because if Flash is this hero, he wouldn't. Well, he might be awkward, but he wouldn't be Ezra Miller awkward. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
But it's like if you had to replace Ezra Miller, it'd have to be someone like or is Grant Gustin. They can't probably have Grant Gustin because CW, but someone who plays his character as well as Grant Gustin, because it's so smooth. He looks like he would be Barry Allen in real life. And then you get him outside of the film as well, with all the memes about him, and he's just a good actor outside of the movie as well.
Yeah.
He looks like who would be an actual Flash.
Yeah, it's so basically
it's
like
so natural.
how Robert Downey Jr. literally is just
Tony
Iron
Stark.
Man.
Yeah. I can't look at him without seeing
Tony Stark. Right.
It has to be that kind of natural.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
It's almost impossible to achieve, but if they spent the time doing it, they could probably nail it with their studio.
It's just guess you could say that. I just really found him relatable, and the only thing is he's the only character that I liked in that whole thing. Who was the only character that you liked? Just none of them. There has to be one. There has to be one.
Aquaman. Controversial, I know, but he was just such a dickhead. I liked it.
Yeah, I think because then he's just the only fun character, because Batman's too serious.
It's too serious. Wonder
Woman, God knows what happened with her in there. Who was the other guy? The Doom or something?
Doom.
The robot one with the
Cyborg.
Yeah, that's it.
I was going to say what you know about.
I have not seen. I don't read DC comics.
God,
sorry.
This is a good podcast so far.
It's entertaining. Okay?
It's content, is what.
Look,
it is.
Compared to the first one, we were extremely serious, and in my voice, I'm just like, yeah, welcome to basically Endgame was the, and then you were like, I
had a cold. Leave me alone.
Okay, I have a cold now, and I sound better.
Content.
Oh right, yeah. Sorry.
Cursing as well.
Look, listen. It's an 18+ podcast.
Go to YouTube
we'll
Kids.
Stick it as
Go to YouTube Kids.
It's not made for children. Copper will sue me.
Go to YouTube Kids, bro.
So to fix a movie's pacing, hire a different director, fix tonal pacing, fix character development, fix writing, and replace certain actors and actresses.
Big list.
Do you have any objections to that?
Objections.
Come on, answer the thing, man.
Not really. Other than the characters need to. I think the interaction between the characters was a bit like shitty. The way they spoke to each other was like, oh well. It wasn't forced. It just was unnatural.
I think
it didn't seem like how a person would talk to another person. It was kind of almost robotic.
It felt, that's what I said about Endgame at one point. I feel like the key to a good movie is chemistry between the actors, and if you don't have that, you're going to have a Justice League movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If, let's see, you know the Cornetto trilogy, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, Edgar Wright, Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead. How good those movies were, the acting was phenomenal, because they all have chemistry, you can see the outtakes where they're all laughing with each other and having fun. And Justice League just feels like all these actors piled in a room that don't know each other, and they're like, okay, so we have to act like we like each other, and that's where
it's not even like that. That's what it is. They are just a bunch of actors piled in a room, and they've been told to just like each other. Like legit, like Aquaman, Flash, Cyborg, and Batman are legitimately just in a room and told to like each other.
You need
that's what it is.
You need good chemistry. That is like
None
an
of them
important aspect in actual films.
It's the way it is though. They're talking to each other, but they're not engaging with each other. I think there's no like actual fill. It seems like a filler, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's like, oh well, there's a down scene and they're gonna end up talking, so let's just make them have a quick conversation or put this there and get back to the fighting. Do you know what I mean?
And emotional depth, because they had none of that. When Superman died and they played that really awful cover song, what was it called? It was so bad.
Don't remind me.
The intro song to that thing was so bad, and it was genuinely making me cringe.
Something
and I was like,
a Billie Eilish fan would listen to when you don't understand the pain.
And I was so confused. Like, am I supposed to feel sorry for these people when this song is playing in the back?
Yes, you are meant to feel sorry for these people.
With this song in the back, no way. I was actually laughing at this scene.
If you're genuinely sad, then you're a Billie Eilish fan.
Like,
you need to go listen to her music.
Seriously, are you telling me that with Superman dead, we can finally kick oranges? You know how we kicked the fruit stand over?
I don't know why it's not apples, to be honest.
I think that was supposed to be like an act of rebellion, but
not an orange kind of guy.
I can fucking do that
Not
myself.
an orange kind of guy, man. Can't relate. It's meant to be relatable. Why was it orange?
We're going off topic.
I think it's very important.
So, emotional depth. Oh, and camera movements and shots. Now, we've seen Edgar Wright movies. We've seen Russo brother movies, and we know they can have interesting transitions, interesting shots. This is just wide shot into long shot into mid shot into the close-ups and extreme close-ups.
It's like, well, that's what we're taught. That's what you're taught in college.
But this is basics.
I know.
When you become more advanced into it, you need to find newer angles.
I know, you have to be creative.
Yeah, you have to be real creative.
So I'm saying it's like basic angles. It's like, oh well, it's almost as if like an intern made it. It's like, oh well, let's do a straight shot and we'll make it a wide shot. Go down, go up, go down, left, right.
That is where Whedon fails though. He's just continuous the basic shots.
Yeah.
He's like a director that's just like graduated film school and was like, oh, I think I got it now, and then just does the same things that he's learned in college. So, yeah, more interesting camera movements and shots. I think my favourite type of camera movement and shots and all that is Edgar Wright stuff, because actual unique stuff. You can tell the difference between a different movie and an Edgar Wright movie just by how they're shot and how they're written.
Yeah. One more thing, I'm going to bring this back up. You know how the CGI was like really bad?
Yeah.
Well, when the Flash is like running and he goes into like that Speed Force kind of thing, you see like the lightning and all the like
the blue lightning.
The tunnel vision kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the lightning itself is alright CGI. It looks good, but right, another dig at the actor here. Doing great.
Another Ezra Miller attack.
I know. But it's also the way he runs. He looks like bloody Usain Bolt.
You know who you remind me of?
Not Usain Bolt.
You remind me of this Twitter user I know, and he just bashes Tobey Maguire any chance he gets.
But weren't that used to be you?
No, I love Tobey Maguire.
I feel like that was you.
And I used to hate Tom Holland and everything, but I came
Tom Holland's really cool.
I left the whole Spider-Man community. I left
how we just keep going back to the MCU and this is DC.
But it's because it links. There's certain links to it that just take us back to the MCU.
I think it's the plain and clear contrast between the two. You can really tell MCU had a lot more thought. Probably a higher budget.
Yeah, definitely.
And a lot better actors.
I think that's one issue. If you're going to keep getting big actors, you're just going to have one fucked up film.
Yeah. They're going they're trying to keep it with Marvel, and at this point they're not going to be able to, so they need to just go back and do their own thing. And maybe if they catch up with Marvel eventually, sure, but DC's better at their TV shows, I think.
Yeah.
They need to stick to what they're good at.
Actually, have you seen like the
movies
Punisher
need to be a bit more minimal, and TV shows need to be a bit more.
Have you seen the Punisher?
Of course, I've seen the Punisher.
Right.
It's amazing.
So the only actor I could recognise out of there was John Bernthal and Deborah Ann Woll, and not many other actors, and that's good because there's underrated actors. So lesser known actors makes for, when you see them on screen, you see this reaction,
It's
you're
good.
like, holy shit, these are good actors.
Well,
If you've got a bunch of big actors, the ending, the literally thing is when they burst out or they have a breakdown, it's just, oh yeah, no, that actor is really good, so you expect that.
The thing is, that's what all the Marvel actors were. They're all like that. Tom Holland was like that, but now they're big because of the movie.
Now
because
they're just, you can expect, how they act, what's
You
gonna
want
happen.
small actors who have potential in a movie like that. You don't want like Robert Downey Jr. in his new movie. Have you seen that?
Doolittle. It's apparently really bad.
It's terrible.
I'm
It's
sorry.
shocking.
I stick with the Eddie Murphy reincarnation. That's the best thing one to me.
Yeah, all these actors have great acting, but it's all down to the script and the writing and how they've been told to perform.
You can't expect
blame
an
the
actor
actors
to
themselves.
like, actors can't save a film. You know how say, oh, this film's bad, but this character saved it, or this actor saved it.
The writing saved it.
There's no such thing as that. If the film is good, the writer saved it.
See, I can't spoil a future podcast episode here, but there's certain actors who do improvisation quite well. I'll go back and not try to spoil an episode here, but Robert Downey Jr. in Avengers.
Yeah.
When he just kind of picks up food and starts eating it while he's talking.
Yeah, that was
It's that little thing. That's completely improvised, but it's a little thing that just makes it better.
Improvisation.
Actors, if they're allowed to improvise and they can do it well, it can work out. But it is, more down to the writing.
I think Joss Whedon limited that. That's why all the actors feel so bland and robotic.
But little things like that do make the film a lot better. Because it's unexpected, because even if the director didn't want that in or didn't think of something like that in, but it's like, well, the actor thought of it, so that's the sign of a good actor to me.
Yeah, definitely.
When they can actually make the movie that little bit better.
Yeah, when they can put their own thing that improves.
And it's
the
so
film.
smooth and you can't even tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the CGI is actually pretty good at some points. Let's be honest. There some points where you think, are there CGI? Is it CGI or not? But like that statue falling down, that was clearly not CGI.
Yeah.
That one where Jason Momoa is in the snowy mountain and it's a close-up shot of his face.
Uh-huh.
You can literally see the blue screen. It's so obvious.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to end it off here because this is like 30 minutes now.
Talks about forced, makes it forced.
Look, I actually really enjoyed this episode just because it's more natural. And the best thing about this was
Doesn't saying natural make it unnatural?
Yeah, it kind of does. But
well done. Great
you know what's good? It's like the script I had last time. It was a full-blown written script telling us what we were going to say. This is literally just writing down what I think about the film and then improvising it, and that's why this is more funnier and entertaining.
Well, see, that's what you've got. I've got 3 lines. This is all improv.
All right, but look, your improv worked. Your improv kind of saved it, and then my improv from the script.
My life is an improvisation at this point.
All right, everybody.
Probably going to. Don't.
Are you gonna let me give the outro?
No, I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna cry.
Okay, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. Join us for episode 3. Where can I just tell them? They know what we're talking about.
Episode 3 being what now?
I'm
not gonna lie to you. I forgot about that.
I already leaked the thumbnail. The Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker. Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing a podcast episode on the Rise of Skywalker.
It's gonna be good.
Which means me, who has never watched a Star Wars film before, has to now watch all of them.
Oh boy.
So thank you for this, because on top of all the Marvel shows and the Cornetto trilogy and The Boys that I have to rewatch again, I now have to rewatch all the Star Wars movies.
The Boys are so good.
Yeah,
Star Wars is amazing. You need to get into it.
I can't. But anyway, instead of making this a whole episode,
It is a whole episode.
I mean, instead of making this a longer episode...
Hang on, I want to be a host for a second. Alright, so... I'm the host now. Thank you for tuning in to Talking Film. Does it have an S? Talking Film. Thank you for tuning in to Talking Film. This is your host, Ben King.
And
This
this
is
is
your
your
co-host,
co-host, Darwin
Darwin
Malik.
Malik.
If you, follow our Twitter at talking_film123, and see you guys in the next
please
episode.
Please follow us, please.
Yeah, and my boy at Ben_K_ whatever. Just give him some follows, because I've hit 167 and you hit 9.
I've just made one like yesterday.
Yeah, well, welcome, because the Twitter community is wonderful.
Already
I've
had
met some
beef.
great people.
Already.
Well, yes.
Loving Twitter.
Yes, okay, there's that
Fun.
fanatic who kept sending the vegan police gift,
Nah,
but
it was
there
cool.
are some
It was
great
funny.
people.
I
Yeah,
liked
okay,
it.
we're gonna not waste any more of your time. You
All
go
cool
watch
beans.
go watch a High Top Films essay. We'll see you guys later.